Welcome back to MKE Gadgets. Today we're going to make a steel table, or as I say, a table out of steel. In a recent video, I bought some hockey pucks and I made a bunch of feet for it. 1/2-inch carriage bolt, 1/2-inch nut, and a big fender washer. And I counterbored for the head of the carriage bolt. 4 of these will be used on the bottom of the table as an isolator and a dampener. I got 25 of these steel tubes. They're 2 feet long, 1.5 wide, 2.5 tall, with 3/16 wall in there. These tubes are going to be the structure of the table. On 2 of the tubes, I drilled and tapped for 1/2-inch 13 bolt, so the feet will bolt right into there. In addition, I tapped just about 75 1/4-20 holes. So in the future, I can enclose the table on all sides with panels of plywood. But if I don't do that, it's a lot easier to drill and tap all the 1/4-20 holes now than when this whole thing is assembled. Today I'm going to use 2 new tools to my shop that I'm very excited about. So first, let's go over the Bridgeport mill. This is going to be one of the top tubes and has 6 1/4-20 holes drilled into it. 3 on this face and 3 on this face. We're going to center drill the 3 on this face, flip this one down, center drill the 3 on here, flip it back up, drill with a number 7 drill, which is a tap size for a 1/4-20. Flip this back down and then drill those. First, we center drill. Well, with the holes all center drilled and drilled, let's go over to the drill press and we're going to power tap. We're over at the drill press, and this is my new Tap-O-Matic 50X tapping head. And in a recent video, I made this bracket for it that holds onto a rod, and on the end of it has a golf ball. That's so you don't poke yourself and doesn't scratch the Bridgeport mill. We're over here on the drill press. This will swing around and hit the column, and will stop the rotation. Here we're going to power tap these 6 holes, 1/4-20, and this should all happen in no time. I don't know how long it took, but it's a lot easier than hand tapping all 6 holes. I gotta wipe all the oil off of this, and then we'll go over to the welding table and we'll set it up and start welding. So my second new tool here is my Rhino Cart welding table. And it has all these 5/8 holes here and a series of clamps. So you can really clamp down your project. So once you start welding, it won't move on you. So I put a tape across both corners, and it's exactly 37.5. Well, the best you can do on a tape measure. So hopefully this thing comes out square. I have all the clamps here on the top, so I'm going to weld across that corner and then across that corner. Then I'll bring all the clamps down here and weld this corner, checking for square all along the way. Let's move the camera in there and let's do a little welding and burn some wire. We'll let this cool off a little bit. We'll move the clamps to the opposite side and we'll do some more welding off camera. So with the two frames welded up on both sides, this is eventually will be the outside. This has the tapped holes, and in the future I might put plywood over here or make shelves or add storage. But this weld is sitting proud. So I want to grind it flush just on the outside of the two panels. And to do that, I got a flapper wheel and my angle grinder. But first over here is my welder, and I don't want to get all the abrasive and grit on that. I'm going to cover it up and do a little grinding. Whenever you do any grinding, do yourself a favor. Wear some earring protection. And I like a grinding shield. This one I found works the best. I have my 6-inch scale here. I'm going to just scrape over that and see if I can feel any height spots. Yeah, one right there. I'll change back to a finer wheel, try to get some of those scratches. I had the two side frames done. This side here, welded that up, and then back here, I welded that up. Now, we just gotta weld the 4 last pieces. 1, 2, 3, and then one back there, 4. This is the beauty of the Rhino table, the 5/8 holes and the clamps. I use practically every clamp I have today. So let's zoom in here and show you a little greater detail. In all 4 corners here, I have squares from Fireball tools. And what they do is help keep everything square. So next I'm gonna come in here and weld these 4 corners. Then I'm gonna flip the whole thing upside down and weld the other 4 corners. And then I'm gonna finish welding everything. I spent more time fixturing this part than welding on it. But the more time you spend fixturing, the better your whole weldment will be when you're all done. It's one of those projects where you gotta check every corner multiple times because you tap something and you tap it out. And you clamp something and you clamp something else out. So as time consuming as it was, it really pays dividends in the end. Now I have a lot more welding to do. Well, with the last of the 4 corners welded, I'm gonna let it cool off, flip the whole thing upside down, re-clamp it, and we'll do some more welding. I'll do that off camera. So I started out with 12 of these square tubes. I paid $4 a piece for them, and the table used 12. So that's $48. With the current price of 2x4s, I couldn't make this table cheaper out of wood. Let's zoom in and take a closer look at the finished table. So here in the corner I have hockey pucks, 4 of them, and they're on a bolt. And with that, it should be easy to make this table level no matter where it sits. Next, I want a powder coated orange to kind of match the furniture in the shop. With all these holes, I can put plywood on the front, plywood on the sides. I can turn this into drawers, a cabinet, anything I want. You can never have enough storage in a shop. This was a fun project. I got to use 2 of my new tools. The Tapomatic 50X tapping head. Without that, I'd still be tapping all these holes, or I just wouldn't have done them. The Rhino Cart welding table really made this project a lot higher quality. Everything's at a 90-degree angle. It was a pleasure to use. A lot of clamps. I also use squares from Fireball Tools. They really help a lot keeping everything nice and square, straight. So this is MKE Gadgets. I hope you enjoyed today's build. A table made out of steel, or a steel table, whatever you want to call it. Thanks for viewing, and please subscribe if you haven't. Thanks, we'll see you tomorrow.